Hello, beautiful souls. I am being guided right now intuitively to channel. I haven't done this in a little while, so I'm excited to see that it's coming through. Specifically, I feel that this channeling is going to be on the concept of identity. It's coming up a lot in our collective, and they want to speak on it. To assist us in maybe navigating it in a more healthy way. So let's see what comes through. Greetings, beautiful beings of Earth. We are so blessed and appreciative that you would want to communicate with us at this time. It is our purpose here in these communications directed at your planet to assist you in elevating your consciousness. This is guidance, not direction. It is there to be sought out, not taken forcefully. This is only our perspective, and if you wish to perceive what we perceive, then this is our perception of your planet. Each one of you is worthy of exploring their own personal experience, and each one is valid. That being said, we do see that there are some habits and patterns on your planet that cause often suffering. And because of this suffering, there has been an asking to clarify or liberate some stuck energy around these topics. Again, this is guidance. You may or may not decide to take on our perspective, and that is valid. Often on your planet, in these times, when someone or a being expresses themselves, it is seen as law, and if that perspective is not taken on, that one being is right or wrong. We do not see this as there are infinite realities, infinite possibilities, and infinite perspectives that are all valid, because that is the purpose of incarnating, to experience your experience. But when asked, we do share our perspective so that there may be a broadening of perspective, so that you may choose a direction with maybe more, as you might say, knowledge of the situation from a different perspective. The question today we have is on identity. Currently on your planet, identity is a majority of what you are playing out. Who am I? Who am I compared to others? And what does that mean for me socially, internally, and as a collective? Ironically, the question of what does it mean to be human often does not get brought into these situations, which we find interesting, as it is probably the most pertinent question you could have around identity. But nonetheless, you are breaking off into individual groups to seek out validation and community. Validation and community are valid reasons for collecting, as it brings in a concept of oneness in some ways. The problem is not the right word, but the challenge we see for this planet is by grouping, which brings community, you are also creating separation. This separation often causes even more harm, often, as you now see others as being enemy-like. We ask you, are these identities serving you or creating more chaos for your planet? Obviously, this will be differently answered by each being on your planet, but oftentimes with identity creates crisis and stories that are being driven forward by beings for a narrative of victimhood, oftentimes, which there is nothing wrong with expressing what your experience has been until it becomes a feedback loop. Oftentimes bringing it back around and not letting you, as you might say, escape the pattern of victimhood when you focus on that piece specifically. We notice that groups on your planet specifically group because of this victimhood mentality, which can cause chaos and infighting. We understand on a base level why you would want to group, as it creates safety within the group. However, by creating an other, you now have created a sense of lack of safety, ironically. All we ask is, are these identities serving you? Are they bringing you true joy, or does it bring you back to feeling separate once again? We offer you the concept that identities is a beautiful experience that you are meant to play in, find joy in, and create in. Being in an incarnation, being a human, being on planet Earth, in and of themselves are stories to be played out for the experience of that identity experience. One incarnates as a dog, one incarnates as a bird, one incarnates as a human, one incarnates as a mushroom for those experiences. An identity in and of itself is a perspective, a lens, a filter in which to experience the universe. For the flavor of experience, that is all. Anything else becomes, as you might say, dogma. It creates chaos because once you identify the identity you have created for yourself and then create a right and a wrong, you are now back into separation versus community, which is what you originally sought. Be aware of that balance. Duality on your planet has served you well to experience contrast and excitement, passion. It is there. We created it for a reason, but only for the experience of experiencing contrast, not to be dragged down by it into a whirlwind of pain and suffering. It is up to each of you to decide how you want to go about dismantling the identities that do not serve, and then stepping into the identities that bring you joy and excitement and flavor. This will be different for each one of you, and it is an important part of your journey into the ascension process, into the perception of oneness which you seek. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing is going wrong. This is just a step on the journey, which we hope to clarify for you in this transmission. Thank you for hearing our perspective. We are complete. Thank you so much for hearing this transmission. It came through loud and clear. I could feel it, so I hope it brought you some clarity. And like they said, this is just another perspective. It is totally your prerogative whether or not you want to bring it in as a, as they said, flavor of your perception. If you would like a personal, I need to get grounded. If you'd like a personal session with me, channeled session, I do offer them in my Etsy shop along with different types of tarot readings. So feel free to check that out in my Etsy shop in the link below, along with my other social media platforms. Many blessings to you all. Namaste.